Most musicians would die to own one of these. Or these, or these. Pieces of gear like this, designed by genius designers with names like Neve and Carnes, just make things sound good. This is the gear used by the best studios in the world, which means, of course, that your net worth better have quite a few zeros behind it if you're going to start collecting these kinds of things. Sadly, most of us don't have Dave Grohl's checkbook to buy such wonders, so we have to use free or lower cost plugins to do the trick, which in the 2020s isn't really that bad of a deal, because there are a number of plugins that can get really close to that vintage sound. One of my go-to VSTs in this department is Tapes.01, which I reviewed with pretty high marks a couple of years ago. It is a creative powerhouse, especially if you like random, granular, noisy sounds. While Tapes.01 sounds great out of the box, there is another plug-in effects package that can make it sound even better, and it's one that you might not think of. I think of Infiltrator 2 being firmly in the digital realm, which, I mean, it's running on one of these things, so it is, but you can get it to sound pretty analog, and paired with tapes, it can be hard to tell from the real thing.
Hello, IT. Have you tried turning it off and on again?
I've got some examples of a couple of gems curated from Infiltrator's 1500 presets, and several custom Tapes.01 presets, which I'm giving away for free. If you own Tapes.01, go ahead and download the free Arctic Fox presets pack at the link in the description. Follow the instructions on where to save on Windows and Mac, and you'll have 50 new sounds to try out. Let's check out some of the patches with several tricks. I've got Tapes.01 pulled up with the sequencer patch, and it sounds like this. If I turn off all of the effects, it's a slightly harsher sound, and I'll turn them back on again, one at a time, and you can hear how the sound gets slightly warmer and more smeared as I go through them. Now let's add Infiltrator 2. I've got the Fade to Dark patch, which is a series of lo-fi reverbs, a delay, and a ladder filter. This is also going to both warm up the sound and smear it, while adding a low-end reverb that's more of a drone or frozen reverb type effect. Tapes.01 is really all about noise and warmth and imperfections, so adding to any of these things usually works out pretty well and is likely to enhance the sound you get, especially if it's really subtle. You might not know it because it's pretty tough to wade through 1500 presets, but Infiltrator 2 has two very nice sounding tape delays. I've got one pulled up to see what techniques they use. First is, of course, the delay, but they've added a very slight LFO pattern that looks like ripples on a pond. This mimics the imperfections of the tape motor speed. It has to be very slight, or else it detracts rather than adds to the sound. And it's also uniform versus something like a tube, which has a more random effect, a machine with regular imperfections versus electricity with random ones. The tone of the delay is also dialed slightly into the warm zone. The second two techniques are a low shelf at 225 Hz and high shelf at 1660 Hz. This mimics the poorer dynamic range of magnetic tapes compared to a modern digital equivalent. Just adding this delay really makes this sound like you've got $1,000 in analog gear. The third effect uses a similar granular patch called an evening stroll, which sounds like this. This preset stacks a series of filters and delays to warm up the original sound, and I'll go through these as well. For the Infiltrator patch, I've got a custom patch loaded with 4 more delays, a looper, a panner, reverb, and finally, the snail. This creates some nice panning movement with the reverb and slow effects combining for that low end stuck in a tin can drone sound. That's it for today. Be sure to get your free patches if you own Tapes.01 in the description below. I've got a bit of an ambient piece to play us out, showcasing a few of the sounds. Hit that like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we will see you on the other side of the mountain.
Nee, war nicht viel los. Ja, eben zweimal mit Herzegowina gesprochen da in die Ecke. Und dann ein paar Mal mit Italien. Mit Italien.